The reason race was constructed.
Hold on, Ebony. Pink Razor, can you take that effing filter off right now? It is not helping you. And I'm trying to be nice. I'm not gonna be any type of. I'm telling you, human being to human being, take that crap off. Just leave your natural face on. Your natural face is cool, but that filter. You want me to just be honest with you? You want me to be that blunt friend? Okay, because you want to be friends so bad, right? It added like 30 pounds on your face. Don't add that filter again. Okay? And it did not help with the brows that you don't have. Love you.
She like Mrs. Trenchville.
So race was created for a specific reason, specific parameters. We can't leave out context when we make these when we say these statements. We cannot leave out context. And I think to sit here and say if transracial doesn't exist, it does, just not in the format that people want to make it. To equate that to a gender identity is weird, bro. It's disgusting, actually. Anytime you conflate race and gender or compare them, it's disgusting.
Like I get you're adding emotion behind your statement.
No, I'm not adding emotion. I'm adding the truth.
By definition, what you're saying that it's not. If you go by the definition of the word, it's literally what it is.
Definitions are descriptive, not prescriptive. That means, what does that mean, Mr. Too Flashy? What does that mean? That means that you have to involve the context. Yes or no?
Miss Trench.
I guess.
No, it's not. No, I guess they're descriptive, not prescriptive.
No, because this is the argument you're trying to make.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Pat.
Because I just remembered what I was going to say, and it actually relates to this topic very heavily. I think we are being a tad bit disingenuous about how social constructs work, right? Because yes, social construct and gender is a social construct, but they're not the same type of social construct, right? Mr. Too Flashy, the office of the President of the United States of America, is that a social construct?
Was that a question for me to actually ask, or were you?
Yes, that was an actual question.
You say is the President of the United States a social construct?
Is the office of the President of the United States of America a social construct?
Yeah, being a president is a social construct because people.
Okay, so that means the office of the President of the United States of America is a social construct, right?
Yes.
Okay, can I now say I'm president?
You can say whatever you want. Yes, you could definitely say that.
But does that make me president?
No, but you could say it, but that doesn't...
Okay, no, 1 second. Please just answer the questions as they're asked to you.
Yes, you can say
right? But does that make me president?
To yourself, yes.
I didn't... Is that what I asked you? Did I ask you if it makes me president to myself? Or am I asking you, based on the reality in which we live in, does that make me president?
No.
Why?
Because you don't have nobody actually following you.
Okay, there is a specific criteria that is required to be met in order to be considered the President of the United States of America. That criteria is you have to be at a certain age, you have to run for the office, you have to be voted into the office, and then sworn into the position. That is the criteria that must be met to be the President of the United States of America. That social construction has criteria.
And your point is...
Keep that thought.
One second. I'm not done. Race has criteria, right? Race is categorized based on skin color and phenotypical attributes, which means, right, we're speaking towards the conversation of human phenotypes. Unfortunately, that does not speak towards the conversation of artificial phenotypes, which means if you're putting on blackface, right, that doesn't make you black. There is a specific characterization that must be met. Like the semi-ethnic conversation that goes into the ever convoluted combo of race, but that's a different conversation for a different day, right? Gender, unlike race, does not have strict requirements. And the reason as to why, let me finish, please. The reason as to why that is because gender is solely based on presentation. How you present is what people perceive you as. If I present as a woman, people will assume I am a woman. If I present as a man, people will assume I am a man, which allows gender to be defined by the individual because that category does not have rigid requirements. It is fluid. That's the point that I was trying to make.
Let me
Hold on,
respond
hold
to
on,
that.
hold on.
Can I respond? Because he's talking to me. First of all, you're saying that it has no requirements. Like, based on who? Like,
Based on the
my-
definition of gender.
Let me finish. I said what I said. I didn't actually mean.
I'm sorry, I thought that was a question.
No, it wasn't actually a question. But it's the fact that you're saying that gender is fluid, not realizing that gender and sex are intertwined regardless. Like, you cannot have one without other. I know you guys like to do this. Gender can be whatever you feel like or whatever you identify as, but there is literally criteria for your gender because it goes back to your sex. Like, you guys keep trying to disconnect that when it's like you cannot have one without the other. I get it. The whole gender thing is basically the label you want to put upon yourself. Like, I want to be a firefighter, or I want to be a girl, I want to be a boy. It's not. Can I finish?
But that's not what I said. With respect, you're misconstruing my point, right? I did not say that gender is defined as the label that you place upon yourself.
I said that.
I said gender. I said you said that's what I said, but that's not what I said. I said gender is classified based on presentation, which means for the most part, society, right, affirms the conversation of gender based on what we decide something looks like. Right? We decide what women look like.
You
because
determine or like what you are just by saying that you partake in this gender.
How many times must I tell y'all to stop over talking and or interrupting people on the panel? I'm gonna drop y'all every time. Tom, be quiet. We will get to you. Stop interrupting.
Like I said, gender is a conversation of presentation. How you present is how people will treat you. This is a simple conversation that is reaffirmed consistently.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, John C.
Hold on, 1 second. Pink Razor. I know you don't probably mean anything by it, but you sitting here doing your makeup while we're having a race-based discussion is coming off very rude, like you're dismissive of it, or like you don't care about what's going on. And it's kind of infuriating some of the black folks watching. I just got a couple inboxes about it.
Well, sir, I'm listening to your conversation. Is that not okay? I'm still here. I'm still listening.
I'm just explaining to you. I didn't say you can, I'm not saying don't do what you want to do. I'm just saying it comes off like dismissive, like you don't care. I'm just relaying a message. I'm not being disrespectful. That's all. That's all, beloved. I apologize, but I'm just relaying the message. Go ahead, baby Pat.
Thank you, John C. Right? We understand the conversation of gender being reaffirmed by social contexts, right? Because it happens in everyday society consistently. When you're walking down the street and you see somebody dressed in a skirt, right, with long hair, a voluptuous frame and high heels, right, maybe a sundress, you more than likely will immediately assume that's a woman. And they might turn around, have a beer, and go, hi, go by he, him pronouns. And you're baffled. You're confused. You're like, ooh, that was not what I thought that it was. Simply because you assume gender based on people's physical presentations. Society assumes gender based on physical presentation. That is how we have classified gender our entire lives. We know that gender is solely based on presentation, and we know that that social context changes depending on location because we know that different demographics of people across the world have looked at gender expression fundamentally differently. So that proves that gender is not inherently tied to sex. Now, I'm not claiming that gender cannot be reaffirmed by sex. Depending on the social context of the nation in which you live in, gender might be reaffirmed within your society by sex. In American and Western society, we associate, for the most part, gender with sex.
That's we gotta live in reality at some point.
I just don't know why people I don't know if it's not just today. It seems like every day recently. I don't know why everyone feels the need to start their sentences halfway through mine. But since everybody can read my mind, you all know what's going on my dome. Please go ahead.
You're kind of monologuing a little bit.
You realize you cut me off to start your conversation, right?
Yeah, like you're doing the
I
same
never
thing.
landed
I
my
didn't
point.
cut you off. You
Yes,
made
you
a
did.
fundamentally untrue. No, you made a fundamentally untrue
All right, hold
statement.
on,
Which,
hold on.
as
Everybody
the
mute real quick.
co-host, I
Everybody
have
mute
the
real quick. Everybody mute.
Wait, who just got dropped?
Um,
Hello. Come back.
Wait, why?
We're talking.
we gotta be fair. We gotta be fair because even us, we've been over talking too.
I have to drop you too, Pat, if you keep on talking. I love you.
Yeah,
Love you down.
we got to take accountability. I know for a fact I have. I mean, I apologize to Jonty. I don't apologize to Tom, but I'm sorry,
Same.
Jonty. But we all have been over talking, so we got to also keep that in mind too. That we got to let them finish.
My bro was monologuing like the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Diablo. See now you starting with him, and if he lights you up, don't say that he bullying you.
No, I'm just saying. What did I?
You don't need to say anything because I just clocked
Right?
it. Okay.
Yeah, Ev already acknowledged that you and Flashy were correct. That they are also interrupting you. Just keep it moving. That's it.
All right, so can I
That wasn't
continue?
necessary, bro. That's all.
Something I'm rude.
Can I continue?
Okay.
Go ahead.
We have to realize because he's saying that gender is a social construct which we all agree on. But the fact that he's saying that, he has to remember majority of the Western world ties gender to sex. Like, I know that we have a small percentage of people that believe that gender means you can be whatever you want to be. You can label yourself whatever. That's a very small percentage. Majority of the world doesn't line their thinking with that. Like, most people believe that your gender is tied to your sex. So I know there's some people that believe that gender and sexes are entirely different, but majority of people don't look at it like that. So that statement of talking about where your gender is based on what you look like, that's a false statement. Yeah, we get it. We can assume wrong. We can see a guy looks like a guy, but it finds out it's a trans man. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, transgender. My bad. But at the end of the day, if that's not if it's not tied to your sex, then you're just I'm not even gonna say because y'all gonna be like, so I'm just leave it at that.
Science
This is so hard,
says,
Genty.
Can I?
Go ahead, Pat.
This is the part of this conversation that always pisses me off. And then, like, as a variable he/they myself,
I'm sorry, Pat. Can't cuss either. I love you down.
I didn't even hear it. Dang, y'all
did.
on it. I didn't even hear him first.
I'm so sorry. You know I love you. Can't cuss. Come back up.
What did I say?
PISS.
That's a cuss word now?
Yes.
Can't say it.
I explained
Thank
it
you for
earlier,
letting me
baby
know.
Pat. The live, my whole live got flagged yesterday in real time last night because someone said that.
It's
After I tried to tell him not to say it, they repeated it saying, "Is that a bad word?"
Then
got flagged.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just hit it with a simple PMS.
And also really quick too, we have told Pink to stop talking several times. So at some point she got to talk too.
Agreed.
To be very honest with you,
Does she?
Yeah, she does. Go ahead, baby Pat.
To be very honest with you, this conversation is a tad bit draining, but I'm gonna do my best to divvy out this point. As a variable he/they myself, this conversation specifically PMS, and the reason as to why it agitates my soul and spirit is specifically because science has already proven that gender and sex do not in any way, shape, or form have to be directly associated to each other, right? So whether or not even if 99.999% of this planet believed that gender and sex were directly tied to each other, even if I was the last person on this planet who believed the contrary, science, the thing that we can objectively prove, says you're wrong, right? Whereas your opinions, which are subjective and fragmented at best, cannot be proven, right? Y'all come in here and you tell me that, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to be for real, we have to see things as this, and yet you choose to ignore science. And I don't understand that. Science has shown us, right, that sex does not inherently have to be tied to gender, right? Because if sex had to inherently be tied to gender, what are intersex people? Okay.
1%.
Quite literally, the 1% doesn't matter because they still exist. I don't understand why people make that 1% argument. Also, since we're being fair on it, why are you interrupting me? Did y'all not just ask me to be quiet and silent when you were speaking? Did y'all not just ask me to be
It's true.
classy?
Thank you, Baby Pat, for clocking
Hush your
that.
tone. Thank you. But as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted halfway through my sentence again. Science shows us that sex, right, speaks towards the conversation of biological characteristics. We also understand that gender speaks towards the conversation of socialization, presentation, and self-identification. How do we know this? Because even science reaffirms the conversation of individual gender identification, right? We have science studying the brainwave of trans women alongside cis women, and we can see that the brainwave and brain activity is similar. Same with trans men. So this whole argument of like, oh, we need to stop being delusional. Oh, we need to, y'all are the ones being delusional. Y'all are the ones being ridiculous. We know that trans people exist, right? We knew
Can I ask you a
the whole
question?
point in T-Butt. I'm done.
I'm starting to see
No,
Baby
y'all
Pat
got it. I'm
talking
done.
now.
I'm really done.
Every time he's talking, y'all is interrupting him mid-sentence. Like, what the hell?
Y'all about to get dropped, and I'm about to leave y'all in the comment section for real. Stop
Can he
over
finish his
talking.
point? Yeah, like, if you guys are tired of him talking, stop interrupting him. Let him finish.
And then my thing is when I have to repeat myself every time because I'm neurospicy and that's quite literally just how my brain works, then y'all go, I'm monologuing. Got you. Like I said, I'm done. I've lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was saying. It's all on y'all. Have fun.
Go ahead, Pink.
I missed what the argument was really about.
Go ahead, Flashy.
You missed it because you was doing
Yeah,
the
you was too
mascara.
busy trying to look cute on the camera, Pink. That's why you missed the argument, silly. You see why they was on your behind earlier?
No, but I was listening about the trans community, and I just wanted to say that the trans community exists in all race. That's all I want.
Let me, okay.
Damn, Javon.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole trans conversation is kind of funny. It's like you guys keep trying to bring up intersex, even though intersex has nothing to really do with trans, because intersex are people that have birth defects, and majority of the time they pick a side. They pick.
You're not saying intersex people are birth defects. You're not saying that. I'm
God,
sorry.
he said what?
You're not saying that. I'm
You
sorry.
can't. Yeah,
You're
you
not
can't say
saying that. I'm
Flash.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's absolutely
Man, bruh.
fundamentally untrue and incorrect. Science disproves that statement. Not only that, it's freaking disrespectful. If I need to take a lap for saying that word, I'll do so.
Did you say you said friggin', right?
Yes, I did.
You're good.
You're good.
You said you said. Also, you in the comments, people were saying that you call trans people it. We're not doing that either. So don't do that.
Like I said, this argument. This is why I hate this part of
Wait,
this
real quick.
conversation.
Hold on. I didn't hear him say that.
No,
He
they're saying he said
definitely
it in the
did.
chat.
Hold
Because
on,
he
Flash.
acknowledged.
Did you say that?
I heard him say it.
I didn't.
When I was having a conversation, when I was like talking, I was like it, trans, and I was like it, but they gonna take it and run with it.
I'm
But
talking about the other thing.
what other thing?
You did say
When you
defect.
called intersex people BD.
No, that's not what I'm
Yeah,
talking
that
about.
part,
I'm
yeah,
talking
I
about
know I
what
said that
Javon
part.
just said. I'm talking about what Javon just said. I'm not
He
talking
just
about
admitted it though. No, he just admitted because he said it,
Okay.
and then he followed with the, y'all gonna run with that. Y'all gonna call me transphobic. So you admitted that you did say it. Okay, got it. Which is, Genty, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Your purpose, one of the purposes of your life is to do what besides educate people?
I'm an entertainer. I like to entertain people.
And a part of your education process is to decolonize, correct?
Part of it. I mean, I'm not really an educator. That's why I have you wonderful geniuses in the box to help me get through that, because I ain't that damn smart. But I know enough about certain stuff. But mostly my job is to just to give people a nice, entertaining, educational, whatever you want to call it, show in the middle of the night.
And not honestly, Flashy. Do you want the progression of the human race to continue?
Is that a real question?
What's funny about the question that I asked? I'm not a comedian. I'm being for real. I'm not even being
Hey, I'm so sorry
facetious.
to interrupt, guys. Give me a second. Jonty, I'm gonna go ahead and drop because you've got people waiting, and you said you were gonna get off in 30 minutes.
Oh, he
So I
didn't.
wanna leave
No,
space
don't
for people to.
drop.
No, stay. I'll drop.
Stay.
Well, no, because there's like 4
Ev,
people waiting.
I'll
stay.
drop.
They
I'll
can
drop so
wait.
that somebody else can come.
You see? Look how look at that. Look at
Yeah, but here's the thing. I didn't want you to drop people of differing opinions
What?
because what if the people you add up agree? That's why I said I would drop. Rose don't disagree.
No. Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
I was going to drop. I didn't want people who have of differing opinions to drop because what if the people you add up don't? I mean, what if the people you add up agree? That's why I said I would drop. Most of the people in there.
She's not listening.
Yeah, you were gone for so long. You can't leave us again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you've been gone for a month and a half. Stay.
I get anxiety when you're gone for too long. To be very honest with you, I get heart palpitations. Like I missed you so much.
I miss y'all.
I used to
Now,
ask you
hold
every day.
on. Now that she reminded me, because I did not even look at the time. Can you guys really try to help me like clear out this goal as much as possible? Because I'm
Come on,
not
y'all.
staying on too long. Because I have to go to bed. Just letting you guys know. I just wanted to remind you about my goal. If you guys can help with that, that would be great. All right, now who the hell wants to talk? Who's it? Rye? I guess we'll go with Rye and then Rose Gold.
Hi, Rye.
Sorry. Also, going to the previous conversation about transness, even from like a linguistic perspective, like the word gender is created in, I think it's like 1474 or something like that. And it is like to describe groups of people and like how their sway in perception is. And it's used in the story to say like his children of the masculine gender, because like some of his daughters are a little masculine and so are some of his sons. And it's really not seen very frequently again until like the 30s and 40s, when it is only being discussed as like the observation of like social realities, like interacting with people to say like, how do these groups of people differ in interaction from different other groups of people, like specifically on the basis of at the time, just men and women through like a binary perspective. And like, even with the consideration of like why gender would be created or why that word would become like so much more prominent in like society, language doesn't grow for no reason. Like if that like word is popping up so much more in a culture, it is obvious that it's like caused by something and some like phenomena. So even if like it isn't backed by science, even though there is so much scientific evidence, the harsh reality is that like society grows and changes and words only really come up to say like, this is a new thing we're describing. So even if you don't understand like how the whole gender thing works, no one is asking you to. It's just saying, hey, you should be polite to these people. Like it isn't a like hard ask or a hard sell. It is just like the basic understanding of empathy to another human being for the progression of society. Sorry, that was a long rant. I was monologuing.
No, you ate that though, beloved. I
No,
would
no, no.
also add to the pinpoint that he ended.
Hold on. Thank you, Francesca, and thank you, ZB. ZB just donated like a lot. Thank
Come
you.
on, ZB,
Yeah, guys,
down. But in relation to the pinpoint that you ended with, Mr. Too Flashy, there are intersex people who identify as trans. So that one didn't really eat either. Like intersex can be related to the conversation of trans. Of course, not all intersex people identify as trans. There are some intersex people that identify as non-binary separate from transness. There are some intersex people that identify as non-binary in relation to transness. There are some intersex people that identify as gender fluid. And there are some intersex people that identify as men and some intersex people that identify as women. And that's completely okay. But let's not erase the intersex people who are trans. I know a couple of them. They're good vibes, lovely
So to
people.
your point, I'm so sorry I wasn't trying to cut you off. I am intersex. Like when we're talking about like it's only 1% of people. Like people don't understand.
No,
like,
it's 0.001%.
okay.
0.001.
No, it's not.
So the statistic you're talking about is through the idea that intersexuality, like being intersex, can only
Bro,
be
she
seen in
really
like
got no
Klinefelter.
eyebrows. Holy crap! I was kidding earlier. Like, oh Lord, that was off mute. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. It is like, sorry, intersex, people often see the statistic and go, oh, it's only 0.001%. And that is because you are only looking to things like Klinefelters and things where you decide intersexuality is just having extra parts or having more parts than you're expected to. When in reality, intersex is defined as like having anything within your system that does not align with the traditional understanding of how sexes should operate. So for myself, I have the normal parts that someone of any body should, that I like won't get into, but my actual like blood quantum, like my quantities of like testosterone and estrogen are not correct for a male or female body to have. That is still being intersex, and that's actually really common. And there are a lot more things that fall into that under intersex umbrella. Ironically, the only thing that stops gynecomastia from falling under the intersex umbrella is like gynecomastic advocacy to not be grouped in with intersex people. Sorry, also another rant.
Clock that people.
And,
That's
like,
my
do you
point.
actually called intersex, or do you prefer something else?
I always tell people what you call me as long as you know I'm pretty. I don't really.
But based on society, right? When we talk about like I said, if society is based on the majority, if you guys are saying 1.7, well, from what somebody in the comments said, 1.7 people in the 1.7%.
It's 7.9 billion. Of 7.9 billion is still a lot.
I
That's
get what
still
you're saying,
millions of people,
but that's
bro.
not the majority though. That's not society. Society is the rest, is the 99 point whatever percent. So
Okay.
society has never been.
Flashy, you know who
What's up?
talks like that? When it like we literally just told you 1.7% of 7.9 billion is
Actually,
what?
we're 8 billion now.
8 billion. Sorry, 1.7% of 8 billion people is a lot of freaking people. And your answer is, well, that's not the majority. Like, brother, one person, getting unalived is
That-
too many, right? One person getting raped, trigger warning, is too many, right? One woman going through misogyny is too many, right? One black person going through racism is too many, right? We got to stop with that talking point. You know what you sound like when you have that talking point? You sound like a white man, bro. Like, can we not?
I look at life for what it is, man. I get it, right? You guys like to fight for the 1%. That's y'all stance. Y'all gonna always fight for the, I guess the.
But the 1% is an insane
Okay,
statement.
my bad. The 1.7%. My bad. You got it.
Oh no!
But at the end
Like
of the day,
that.
I care about the majority of what is going on. You got society. Like, I know you guys like to make it seem like majority of people are intersex or majority of people are trans,
Okay.
even though society doesn't align with that train of thought.
My
Bro, can Pat like stop talking? Like,
Yeah,
I
hold
know-
on, Lil Pat. Let him finish, babe.
The whole point is you guys keep trying to make these arguments for the less than 1%. Let's say 5% or 10%. Your whole argument is based on the minority. Majority of people do not line up with your train of thought. So this whole gender is a social construct. Yes, majority of society decided that gender is lined up with sex. It is the same thing. You can keep trying to make it not because you feel like it's not. But at the end of the day, society, the majority outweighs the 1.7%.
So does that mean that the Earth
Jumpy.
was flat when 99% of people believed the Earth was flat? Just because people believed it?
That is such a good analogy.
And
It's like, can I-
to the same point, I'm so sorry. To the same point, Maine, Vermont, and one other state have a lower than 1% density of people of color. Should all of the people of color in that state be unalived just because they only represent 1% and who cares about them? Like, the argument that just because a group of people is 1%, like they shouldn't be cared about, makes no sense.
I was thinking fuck the 99% because
No swearing.
Yeah, get rid of Pink.
With
I would love
respect,
to get in this conversation because there's a bunch of holes in the argument.
Rose didn't speak yet.
All right.
Nor have I.
Different topic.
Time you
it
can
was,
speak. Go ahead,
it was
Rose.
to address the fact that Pink was being really disrespectful, and this whole time it's giving pick me energy. And I don't think that she really has a point on anything. It's just like you've been making faces, being disrespectful, and I think a lot of people just really don't appreciate it.
See, before we continue with this conversation, someone. Oh, I'm sorry, Rose. Did you want to say more? Okay, love. Like I said, just a reference before we continue with this conversation, right? Someone has done the math for us, right? This 1.7% of the population to which you speak of, right, is 136 million people, approximately. That's what you're asking to dismiss. 136 million people, approximately. That's one. Two, when I said that your whole like fighting for the 1% comment was crazy, it's because societally we've colloquially associated the 1% with the 1% being the smallest population of the world, having the vast majority of wealth. And we as a people would never fight for the 1% because we are all for the most part anti-capitalism. So I don't know. That's why I meant that like making the statement of fighting for the 1% to me was crazy. It's no shade to you. I just wanted to clarify that sentiment. Johnny, you said you wanted to interject, beloved.
Yes, absolutely. And just a side note, someone said something about monologuing. For about the past hour, there has been like a bunch of monologuing. So like you'll go off on a point, refreshing, just you talking, and like you'll go off on like 5 different tangents based off the one point that the one person had. But if you're going to specifically argue one point and one thing, then you go off into 5 things on a tangent, it gets frustrating, especially if you're trying to get to a conclusion. Now, when you were having you were comparing when originally Flashy said, well, transgenderism, transracial, that's how the whole thing started. And then you went off describing how
So sorry. The phrase transgender and then the ism added afterward is a slur. Please don't say that. Thank you kindly. Please continue.
this is like,
That's not a lie.
it's
We have transgender people. It's not an ism. Please don't add the ism behind that. That is a slur. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it is.
Adding words. Stop.
so that's a slur.
Tom, can you stop being an old school gay and like just get with the times, please? You guys gotta chill, bro. Like you just heard a man sit here and say it's a slur, right? Like you don't have to disagree with it. It's not our place to say if it's not a slur. If trans people are saying it's a slur, it's a slur. We just apologize and keep it moving.
By like definition, it literally
I love
is
you,
a slur.
Tom.
You can
I love you,
Google
Tom.
this.
I love you down. But some of you old school gay boys are doing the most. Go ahead, Johnny.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. I feel like you can't even talk right now tonight on here. But
What? I'm the moderator. I'm just doing my job. Live from being taken down. That is a slur.
Wasn't it this to you, bro? Nobody said anything about you.
This is starting to piss me off.
Oh my God. Listen, you got to drop down. Listen, he's got 15 minutes. So let's stay as much on topic as we can. So everybody has the opportunity to speak about the topic before he gets off. Go ahead, Johnny.
All right. So when he was going off about transgender and transracial, right? And then he was explaining transracial, how it's viewed by society, and then as we know by science, gender is not. And he was making the comparison, but there was no proof as to why gender is not. And then Ray or RY. Whatever it is, when you said back in, what is it, the 1400s, I think? I don't know if you said that exactly, but the first time gender was used to where it was like people of the masculine gender or my children of the masculine gender, that doesn't mean like that they were, mixing the girls and the boys. I mean, back then, we all know that gender and sex have always been tied together with common society. We all know that. Now, recently, it's been changing. Like we said before, language evolves, but like what Flashy was saying, the majority of society agree that gender and sex are one of the, like they're tied together. Now, there's people who disagree, but I mean, we all know the majority of society, and when we go to the intersex, and again, I don't want to monologue, but there was so much to unpack there. When we go to the intersex and then try to base the argument to where you can't do that because of intersex, so that way you're completely disclaiming one set of people, that's not true. So now we're going from transgender to intersex, which is not the exact same thing. Some intersex people claim to be that, but it's intersex is a whole different group. So you have male, you have female, and then you have intersex, which intersex is a small percentage, which is true. So like we can't make like, oh, we like to make this claim about transgender. Now we're gonna go back to the intersex, and like now you're claiming they don't exist or anything like that. That's just disingenuous when in the argument. Again, there was a lot to unpack there, so that was kind of scatterbrained. But if you want to go on one specific, we can do that. And I apologize for going too long.
Speaking on intersex and gender, I never said that if you are discrediting transgender people, you're pretending like intersex people don't exist. It was never my claim. I don't know where you got that from. That's weird to me. My claim, Johnny, right, was that gender is not inherently tied to sex. Because if that was the case, right, then the male sex would equal man gender, then the female sex would equal woman gender. But where does that leave people who are intersex? Those people are fundamental existence proving, right, that sex does not have to necessarily denotate gender. Because intersex is a different sexual category than male and female. It wouldn't fit within the categories of male and female, and yet there are intersex people who in society are perceived as, they are considered on paper from birth into this day as men or women.
Okay, correct. Are you done so I can
like why
that?
are we
I'm sorry. Can I say one thing? It's basically because it's a spectrum.
Pink, just relax. Like you have frustrated me so much today listening to you.
Oh,
Now refresh. So the reason I brought up the intersex is because the topic was about transgender, and then you brought up the intersex in order to claim your point, right? So male and female is intertwined. I mean, male and man, and then female and woman are intertwined, right? And now what you did was you claimed the intersex, and by saying, and you're bragging that into the transgender argument, which is it's not one and the same.
The argument was not about trans people. The argument was about gender and sex.
It started with race.
No. Stop. It's my turn now. It's my turn now.
That's how it started, though.
It's my turn now. This argument between me and Mr. Too Flashy was about gender and sex. We, in discussing the conversation of gender and sex, I reached the argument that gender and sex cannot directly correlate to each other, right? Because intersex is a separate sexual category from male and female, in which someone would not necessarily be classified based on their biology as either male or female, because intersex is a spectrum, right? I then said those people still identify as man and woman, even though they are not necessarily male or female. And thus, it proves by the consequence of their existence that gender does not necessarily have to be tied to biological sex. The conversation then deviated to the percentage of intersex people within the confines of the nation. It slightly shifted to the topic of the existence of trans people within the intersex sexual category, to which I then detailed that there are intersex people who identify as transgender as well, relating to the point that some intersex people feel as though their gender expression is closely aligned with the category of transgender people, and thus can fall under the trans umbrella. Why are you making up stuff that I didn't say?
Okay, number one, like honestly, whenever you go on your little tangent, it sounds like you're trying to hit a word mark for an essay, like in high school. Like it's continuing. I didn't say put words in your mouth, but Flashy, maybe you can clarify for this. The conversation did start with you comparing transracial, because that's what we were on.
Now, I think I get the disconnect. The disconnect is like what he's trying. Like I keep saying this, he's trying to fight for the 1%. This is my thing. I've been saying this my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but this whole trans thing is riding the coattail of intersex people, and we already understand that there is male, female, and intersex. Just like when someone is born with an extra finger or an extra toe or some body parts missing, whatever the case may be, like that's a defect. We like the word defect isn't disrespectful. It is what it is. That's what it is. You feel me?
It's not true though.
Wait, what did Flashy do?
Intersex people, defects.
Oh.
Stop it.
Slap.
That is fundamentally disrespectful. What's wrong with you?
Bro, by definition, that's what a defect is. Like it's not a disrespectful word. It's literally the definition of the word.
And see what happens.
Hey, John T, come on. If we're having a conversation, like
Flashy, it's a boundary, brother. If you can't respect it, then they're gonna do what they're gonna have to do to protect my platform.
But this is the thing, though. I need you to tell me that, bro. Like what he's trying to do right now seems like he's just trying to.
On my soul, say it again.
Because literally, if we're going by words, because we say words have definitions, right? That is literally the definition of the word.
That is
like
a slur.
Bro, you make everything a slur. Anything in your mind could be a slur. Anything could be a slur.
What
Flashy.
weird?
Flashy.
You're right.
You're not a trans person, right?
That's not a real thing, bro.
Trans people are saying it's a slur. It's a slur.
Invalidating the existence of human beings? Nope. You're not doing that tonight. No, sir.
90 minutes.
I can't wait to get off of here. Like this live sucks. I'm not even
for real.
Like,
so. I understand what he was trying to say. Not the guy that dropped, the one that was talking about. That guy is just ignorant.
What's up, Bats?
Boy.
Do not call me boy. I'm not your boy.
I ain't talking to you, kid.
Listen, hold on real quick.
I was trying to ask Brats what's up with Brats. Like Brats didn't hear me because y'all kept over talking.
No, nobody heard you.
No one heard me? Oh.
No, it must have cut out.
Yeah, I'm here.
You good?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I just seen Carisha purr as I should. And then I just scrolled into the live to a bunch of bigotry. I just, wowzers.
But y'all, he now officially has 6 minutes. So whatever y'all gonna say, make it substantial. Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you. Refreshing, you're not refreshed.
Bite me.
Let's put it that way, okay? Everything you said is a lie. Let's put it in let's be truth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I am part of the LGBT.
Love that.
Well, no. I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to bring it back. I'm part of the LGB. Okay? You see how I brought that back?
So edgy.
Because
I dare you to try it.
No.
Hold on, Lil Pat.
So you're going to cut me off?
Don't be
I just handled it, Tom. Keep talking. You got 6 minutes.
Okay.
Well, you don't have 6 minutes. We got 6 minutes.
All right. I'm going to bring it back to the LGB because the T lately has demolished everything that we tried to accomplish. Everything.
Wow.
Yes. And I may be old school, but I know the new school as well. And
no, Tom, you're out of touch, buddy. This is why everyone in the LGBT
cuts me off.
I'm cutting you off because I'm the host. So this is why, right? Everyone, and this is the integral LGBTQ issues we have, right? This is why nobody in the LGBTQ community, right, and the Zesty Festy coalition community don't like white gay people. This is why we don't like y'all, because you guys literally have that boomer mindset Like you guys think just because, right, you guys are sugary, just like we sugary, right? You guys think that you guys have the same equal amount of oppression while you guys say and do bigoted stuff like you just did. For you to sit here, right, as a half a century year old individual, as a half
It has
century
to be
year
about race.
as a half century year old sugary individual, right? For you to be saying that in 2024, excuse me, Tom. Like the
truth
people,
hurts.
No, it's not. No, Tom. What I'm saying
The
is
truth
this.
hurts.
If it wasn't for trans people, specifically black
No,
trans
no,
people,
exactly.
you
And
wouldn't
did
have
you hear
rights
not
in
what
this
I
country.
said?
No, Tom. No. I'm gonna speak. Right? We're not gonna do that. If it wasn't for black trans people, Tom, your gay behind would not have rights in this country. That's a fact. So for you to sit here and say that, make it seem like trans people are the most problematic people in our community is insane. No, the gay cis white man is the most problematic community. That's a fact. People like you, Tom, are the most
No, it's
problematic. in our
only
community.
now is what I said.
No.
Only
You
now,
guys have
not back
always been
then.
the problem.
Now.
You guys
Come on
have
now,
always
speak
been
the
the
truth.
problem.
Speak the truth.
Tom, you
Don't.
guys
How
have
to speak
always been
English before.
Pink, if you don't shut your mouth and you know what? I'm gonna drop you before I say something wild misogynistic. So I'm just gonna drop you so I can avoid that. So Tom, like I said, right? I said what I said. You guys have been the most problematic in our community for eons. You guys want to sit here and kiss the behinds of straight cis men so bad it's sick. Like you guys realize that they call you all types of F slurs, like they call us black queer folk F slurs too, right? You know they don't like you guys equally, right? You know they don't respect y'all, right? Just because you guys have certain high positions of power, that doesn't make you equal to them, right? They still don't like y'all. They still pass bills literally to oppress you. You know that, right? And if it wasn't for the T and LGBTQ, you wouldn't even have a chance to sniff gay marriage. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. But your whiteness, this is why we say white people in the LGBTQ, especially white queer men, this is what we're talking about, where you guys just don't get it. This is why people like Johnny, people like Flashy, this is why they constantly disrespect us, because of gay boys like you.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
done.
my God, we don't disrespect you. The T
I
is
don't
just
care,
delusional.
Flashy. I said what I said.
Fair enough.
Go ahead, Tom.
Wow. So you gained this mentality as of when?
If he crosses,
I'm asking you,
I'm a
when
boot him.
did you gain this mentality, the weight of your thinking about the LGBT? Because it wasn't the QIA or the other alphabet letters that was added on until when? So let's go with the LGBT. Seriously.
Tom, you're
No,
making
no.
yourself
I
so
fought.
much worse.
Let
Are you
me tell
running
you
with the
something.
You sure you
I fought and I did I not fight in legislated?
Yeah, okay. If Tom was one of the girlies at Stonewall, he would have been hiding right under them freaking cars. Yes, you would have, girl. Yes, you would have. You wasn't one of the ones throwing them bricks. You wasn't squaring up with 12.
Oh, so now you're going back
I'm
then.
telling you, Tom.
But I
if
thought
you
we
was
were
in
talking
Stonewall,
about
you wasn't
discussion
doing
of.
nothing. You
I
wasn't
thought
doing
we're
nothing.
talking about discussions
I
of
promise you.
the
You
community
wasn't with us shooting in the gym.
beyond the
Tom.
TQIA and the alphabet. What are you talking about?
Okay.
You're not listening to me, obviously.
I'm listening.
Yeah, but you're
You know what?
not
You know
paying
what? We're gonna go
attention.
past the time just a little bit because Tom.
Yeah, you can listen but not pay attention, and there's a
I
big
am paying
difference.
attention, Tom. I am.
Jonty,
Like, yes, baby Pat. Yes.
with respect, and this is just me giving.
So, can I finish my point of view, please?
Yes.
Sure.
Finish your point.
So when I said the LGB is separate, wants to become separate from the T's, is because the LGB is sexual, whereas the T's and the QIA or whatever alphabet that is is more mental, and the trans community agree with this. It's not. No, listen. The T's agree that it's a mental condition where they have, and they think that they are a woman.
What?
John C. say goodbye.
Thank you for literally running into my point, bro. Oh.
Irony of him telling you that you weren't listening while he hasn't listened to a thing since he's been up on the panel.
Wait, what?
This makes me so mad. I'm getting goddamn hot flashes in my nose. Like, my nose is drying up.
Are we gonna act like that's not true though? Like, it's literally a.
Sorry,
Have a
baby
good
Pat.
night, Flashy. Matter of fact, Johnny, love you, dog. Have a good night. Yeah. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Y'all just be saying anything. Like, what? Oh my God, the T and the LGBTQ. Yeah. Little Skittle boy. What are you talking about? Skittle boy. Like, what? Like, what are these Skittle boys talking about?
No.
He thought he ate with that. Child. Anyway, Ab, you going live
Yes, I'm going live right now.
on this page, the 4.0? All right, everybody go follow Ab. She's gonna continue the live for the rest of the
For a little bit, till I get sleepy again.
Because I have to go to bed because me and my baby got an appointment with the massage people in the morning, and I gotta be able to have enough sleep for that. So, love
Enjoy.
y'all. Thank you all for the donations. Peace and love, y'all.
All right. Okay.
Position. Now, can you please explain to me how atheism is not child abuse, even given those conclusions I have given you? Let's just say atheism is not